1-2-1-2. And I'm gonna stop starting with that 1-2-1-2. So I'm gonna start off with a game today. Let's see here. I had it up. Kung Fu Master is a 1984 arcade beat 'em up game developed by Irem and published by Data East. Is that Data East or Data East? You say data, I say data, right? In North America. Oh, it's a North American game, okay. Known as Spartan X in Japan. Okay, so in Japan it was called Spartan X. It was the first side-scrolling beat 'em up and is considered a foundational game for the genre, inspiring titles like Double Dragon and Final Fight. The game features a protagonist named Thomas. Oh, so this dude name is Thomas. Okay. Who must punch and kick his way through 5 floors and rescue his girlfriend, facing a various enemies and bosses at the end of each level. Now, this game I used to play on the Apple II, I think. Like I would sneak and play it during class or whatever. We had a bunch of Apple IIs in high school. So shout out to Northeast High. That's Northeast Philadelphia. Like this is one of the games we used to sneak and play. 1984. Yeah. Oh, so I was young. So I might have played it in '85 or so in high school. Cause I don't think I might have had. Nah, I remember having I remember having that Apple II class. I remember the kids from Woodrow Wilson finally came down, and I'm calling them kids. They were my brothers. So like, and they from most of them was from uptown too, from up there in the Ivy Hill Road, Wadsworth area. We'll go over the names and everything later on. Let me play a little bit of the game because this is what my son wants me to do. He wants me to play the game, and then I'll do a little news thing, and then I'll maybe finish playing the game or that boy gripped me right. Dang, they gripping me up. Woo! Almost messed up there. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. They come quick to grip you. Let me try one more time. So there, this is a cool game. This is the first beat 'em up. I thought Karateka came out around the same time. I gotta look up and see what date. And Karateka was on Apple II also. That was on a computer more so than the arcade. And I remember playing that on the Commodore 64. Shout out to my man Spence. Spence was the first one to have. He was the one that introduced us to Commodore 64 gaming. And no, that was not good right there. That was not good. So I'm gonna pause it right there, and then I'm gonna play a little bit of video because I have to get into explaining the video before I go into it. Just a second. I'm gonna share. Hold on, which one am I sharing? Oh, no, is this the Barack one? I think this might be the Barack one. No, I think I shared that already. Did I share that yesterday? Now I forgot what I was going to share with y'all. I guess let me just share it first, and then rap about it. So I guess I got to do it that way. This is fair use of the 1976 copyright law. I'm gonna cut my music off. I'm gonna cut my voice off. I gave y'all 4 minutes, and then I'll play a little bit of the video, and I'll be right back.
Governor's Mansion, the subject of an arson attack, the tragedy in Minnesota back in June, the horrific murder in Utah of a conservative activist. Are we at an inflection point in our country? Where are we today?
Well, We are certainly at an inflection point, not just around political violence, but there are a host of larger trends that we have to be concerned about. I think it is important for us at the outset to acknowledge that political violence is not new. It has happened at certain periods in our history. But it is something that it is anathema to what it means to be a democratic country. And regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy. What happened, as you mentioned, to the state legislators in Minnesota, that is horrific. It is a tragedy. And there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The central premise of our democratic system is that we have to be able to disagree and have sometimes really contentious debates without resort to violence. And when it happens to some, but even if you think they're quote unquote on the other side of the argument, that's a threat to all of us. And we have to be clear and forthright in condemning it. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't have a debate about the ideas that people who were victims of political violence were promoting. And so I've noticed that there's been some confusion, I think, around this lately. And frankly, coming from the White House and some of the other positions of authority that suggest, even before we had determined who the perpetrator of this evil act was, that somehow we're going to identify an enemy. We're going to suggest that somehow that enemy was at fault, and we are then going to use that as a rationale for trying to silence discussion around who we are as a country and what direction we should go. And that's a mistake as well. And so, look, obviously I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me politicizing the issue. It's making an observation about who are we as a country. I can say that I disagree with the suggestion that my wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power. I can.
You see, Barack is he's very hypocritical right here, and he's speaking specifically to the LGBTQIA+ DEI.PDF people. That's who he's talking to, right? I'm quick to say, like, that's not hip hop, right? It's yeah, we the P Diddy's and the, you know, even the 50 Cents, the Hulk Hogan's, they all supported Barack Obama. They were the vote or die people, and hence that's how we got caught up in, you know, Barack, you know, voting for Barack becoming the president. Like, hip hop really backed him in that. So we massively went out and voted for him, and we put him at the forefront. And what he did was change the fundamental definition of gay to be attached to LGBTQ. Like, you know what I mean? It's repetition is the mother of skill. And I have to get that in people's heads. Like, that's who he was talking about. That's who that crowd was. Those are the leftists. It's not hip hop culture. It's not hip hop community. It's not hip hop consciousness. No, we are different. They're not like us. They want to be like us, right? So yeah, they'll come out and support a Kendrick Lamar thing, but then they'll be the same ones that point at Kendrick Lamar and call him the Antichrist. That's what we are aware of that as hip hop community. And let me run excuse me as I took a sip of my drink. Cause I still got a freeze framed on my gameplay right there. And I wanted to also share this right here. Let me see if I can get this flowing. So I'm gonna cut that off and let's see if this flows. Okay, so this is the game that I'm interested in, and this is what beat 'em ups. This is what Kung Fu led to. So this is the latest Marvel beat 'em up or whatever. I'm running the audio too on it. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted. Nintendo will do that. And it's you know, it is to change the subject a little bit, because we don't want politics, and how politics have got into it is because Kirk, like, we, you know, it's everybody's trying to piggyback off of him, you know, his death, and you know, go viral, but not go viral. What is it called? You know, in order to get the most views, he's what's trending. So, but it's like he was just a YouTuber. Like, that's what we're trying to say. But like, we don't want to downplay, you know, him getting 3 million subscribers. But Zach Scott has 5 million, right? Mr. Beast is the one that's about to hit 500 million. So it's, and then you got cancel culture trying to take out, you know, Mr. Beast, and Zach Scott, and it's a part of what's going on with slowing me down from getting 75 subscribers. Like, it should be easy to get a subscriber if you like. Hey, if you like the content, subscribe. I'm gonna get to 1,000 videos. I'm all about hip hop, which is a creative culture. Hip hop is the #1 genre in movies, music, and art, murals. Like, we want to see that graffiti, putting the mural on the wall, right? That's the artwork that we kind of do, and now we're doing it on the digital page, you know. So if you like my digital page, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Just let that run a couple, you know, letting that run. And what else is it? You know, I mean, it's just a lot going on. And what I was talking about originally is getting together. Let me cut the music off on that, because I'm also running. I know it sounds kind of, and you know, I don't have full adjustment of my audio yet. Alright. Just in case it was muting my voice out, and you know, I cut the audio off, and you know, if they copyright me, they copyright me, whatever. Because all I'm doing is sharing fair use. So I'm advertising your little game, Nintendo, you know. And then I'll get back into a little bit more. I figured I had a little more time to really break it down a little bit more. Like I'm trying to get together with my man. We'll get together. Brent does his own thing called Fathers Read 365, and his friend. I have a couple videos that I want to share with him. I share these things on Facebook, and it's like, okay, if I want to build a school, I need books. So the books that I was like, all right, we'll start with grade 1, you know, kindergarten 1, 2, 3, or whatever, right? And those books is like, what would be the top 10 books that the children should read at that age level? And it's the same books. It's the Three Little Pigs. It's, you know, Three Little Pigs, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and Little Red Riding Hood. Then it was like Pinocchio, but Pinocchio, that might be a 3rd grade. Like that's not a kindergarten, 1st or 2nd grade book. Like that's a little older. You know what I mean? Because now you're getting into a little more darker. You know, even though the first 3 got the wolf in it, you know, and a lot of people like to say, see, those books are dark and evil, and then, you know, the newer books like Anti-Racist Baby is a collaboration between Ibrahim X, right? This guy that you know, I don't know if he's philosophical or psychological. Who cares? But he's the new age professor, and he's using, you know, Nation of Islam's moniker of my last name X, and being a part of that movement. Hence, that kind of makes him more of a leftist, because once Malcolm X, then that's when the Black Panther Party started forming, and they became the left, right? Clarence 13X is a different movement. That was more of the Nation of Islam's movement in moving away from the white Christian kind of movement, and how white Christian nationality today has become the new patriotism, and it's more of a conservatism than being a liberalism, and therein is the different lines of the coordinate planes of mathematics that we're so confused on right now, because yes, you know, the old head saying is there are 2 different wings on the same bird, right, or things of that nature. I'm just pointing straight out, like, look, just look at a simple number line. There's the origin. There's a, you know, a negative and a positive, or left or right, or east or west, movement or direction. Movement would insinuate time being involved. Now we're, you know, I'm trying to build up the epistemology in you. It's not complicated, but I have to write it down and put it into a more mathematical form, translating it to help understand it. Right now I'm still doing Venn diagrams. The very first one, just draw a circle, boom, that's the one set. Draw 2 circles, boom, those are the 2 sets. Now, whether or not those sets are overlapping, what parts is and not, how much of it is and not, and, you know, versus, you know, the algebraic form of it, we're still at the beginning. True or false. We're still going true and false. Thusly, we're in contradiction. Like love and hate. And all this from Barack he's on the side of hip hop, but it's like, Barack, no, you're not. right? And I'm trying to relate it still to just realigning and understanding the generations. So I'm going no Biden and Trump. That's those are baby boomers. They want to argue that Biden, since he's a little older than Trump, he's a silent generation. No, Biden is baby boomer too. Right? Just make them even intervals. So make it from 2020 to 1920 to 1939, right? 1940 to 1959. Oh no, I'm off, right? Oh yeah, to 1959. That's the baby boomers. Then 1960. That's where Obama was born. To 1979. That's Gen X. That's the Generation X. That's the hip hop era. That's the beginning of the hip hop era. And the millennials took us to year 2000, from 1980 to 1999. Those are the millennials. That's Generation Y. Still trying to figure out why y'all was doing, why we old heads was doing all the things that we doing and not taking accountability for it. And that's what Obama's still not taking accountability for what he did by changing the fundamental definition of gay to be all inclusive with lesbians, gays, biracials, transes, QI, interdimensional, whatever, asexuals, whatever that means, plus all the Q is in there somewhere, right? Queers. And then attach all of them to say they all different ones are gay, is because that's where they at right now. So you're trying to separate us. We just want to be gay people, and have sexual freedoms, and then those quote unquote freedoms is to put that kind of psychology in the minds of our children. That's why that anti-racist book is hypocritical, because Ibrahim X, and it's not his wife, the artist, she's another woman, and she's all about introducing the ideology of a trans baby into that book. And we as black fathers go, nah, that's hypocritical. I don't want my daughters or my sons reading that junk, right? I'd rather them stick with Pinocchio, the Three Little Pigs, but they're even doing it with the Three Little Pigs. Like the Three Little Pigs is a story about the pigs building houses. One of the pigs builds a straw house. One of the pigs built a wood house, and the third pig builds a brick house. Of course, the pig that built the brick house was the quote-unquote smartest pig, right? The other two was, one was lazy. The one that straw house was lazy. The one that built the wood house was efficient, but quicker, right? Or whatever. And how the story goes and how the wolf came and blew their houses down. But when they got to they was all the three brothers was together again. Now, here's someone taking that story and changing it for the times. And instead of three boy pigs, one of them makes one of them the girl pig, the sister. So now you have the sister and the two boy pigs. Now, which house does the sister pig build? And it does that truly show her deficiencies or her superiority if she's the one that builds the brick house? I will, right? Just some food for thought, because these are the books that we starting off with the children. Right or wrong. 24 minutes. And I shared enough of that. Let me get back to this here. My mic's still on. And, it is what it is. Come on. Move. Wrong button. There it is. So, yeah, man, this game, I had my son playing it last time. He got frustrated. So, if he was here, I would have him frustrated again. But then I wouldn't have been able to go into the reading simple books and how those books can affect your children, because we are supposed to be the fatherhood of God and brotherhood of man. And the mothers, of course, are supposed to read to their children, are supposed to read to they're the first readers to the children, right? Or the first teachers is the mother, right? Like, I don't remember my mother, feeding my brother and me going, hey, it's my turn to eat too, Ma, Of course, because I was 2 and my brother was still an infant. He was, but she was giving him more attention than she was giving to me at that time. So I forgive her. But I'm hearing my dad used to take me to the pool hard to, help her out. And with my god uncle. And they used to change my diapers on the pool table. Because I was at the bars with superstars, or we was cruising in the trooper cars. This is before they had the Cadillacs. Really don't care who you are. All I really need is a friend. So, we're talking about the brotherhood of man, and what we're noticing is that the matriarchy is the one. Come on, I'm doing horrible. I gotta stop rapping and focus. And how the matriarchy is, because that's what Obama's actually. Sitting there with his legs crossed like a little punk. You know what I mean? Like, men don't sit like that, yo. And he's doing it purposely to, do a movement that's different than real hip hop. Love God, our Father, all the time, hip hop life. One love, one love. Be happy just to have just one love. As God is love, hip hop is life, time is holy. Money, that's nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. Oh, jeez, he deadly with them knives. Because hip hop is actually the art of making the most out of life. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about macroeconomics with this one. I said enough about Barack Obama, little punk, but, he has a degree from Harvard and, whatever. He wants to argue and debate with hip-hop culture, but don't recognize none of the true legends like Rakim or Big Daddy Kane, right? Michael Jamal Warner, that's another one. Like, I noticed he has a YouTube page, but he, 20,000 subscribers is what his page reached. But he just started that page. The guy Kirk grew because the white right conservatives invested in him. It's called dark money when the Democrats invest in mostly LGBTQ and white men that are questionable, right? Not queer, but questionable, right? So, therein is whatever it is, but, y'all can call it hate speech all you want. It's actually love. It's just men, if men is the head of the house, let men be in the head of the house. Like, y'all interfering with other people's private property, and that's whack. That goes against the true teachings. So do what you will with the wisdom that is gave you. You know what I mean? Call it knowledge if you like. Gain some understanding. It's all about helping everybody achieve freedom, justice, and equality in the end. So peace and happiness to you all. I had fun doing this one. I might make another one. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. I'll wrap to y'all later. 1. God is understood.